Okie dokes, the deck. It's getting heavy. A little bit too heavy for my liking. When this stuff goes on, you can barely lift that. That's how heavy it's getting. You've got to bear in mind solar panels going on. I can't get any checker plate. It would be nice to get some checker plate, even if it's just thin stuff, and then add some aluminium ribs to support it. But we do have all of that, and it is a lorry, it's not a van. It's got a very solid suspension that was designed originally to be close to 40 foot long, and she's now just over 20. So the rear axle can take a lot more strain than it could before. Just started to undo all of them. Clouds opened up, and I think it's going to be like that throughout most of the day. I don't know how much I'm going to get done today. I think I need to do that evolution review, because I need to put a cutting disc on that so I can get these bolts out, because that's the only thing that will reach in there. I can't see any other way in doing it. Well, I got them off. Unfortunately, this rain is relentless. Still haven't welded them brackets on. Can't do nothing in this weather. It's just going to be impossible. So, nothing I can do today. Okay, managed to get 3 brackets on so far. Stopped raining. There's the first one. Oops. Hey, I don't take myself too seriously. Grinder will sort that out. Second one, I mean, none of them are great. I'm rubbish at this, but I'm getting a little bit better, I think. I don't care what folk think, as long as it's strong and it don't fall off, that's all that matters. So yeah, there's the first 3. We've now got to turn it around and get the other 3 done. Changed my technique. Now who's laughing? What I did is I got the gun and I was doing that side by side, but I was really shooting through it as quick as I could. I got the heat setting just perfect now. Cleaned everything up as best as I could get it, bearing in mind it's second-hand rubbish. So yeah, let's see if it's a fluke. See if I can do it to the last one. Oh, and I made a mistake. Check that out. I had to change the technique on this one, and I suddenly realised the faster I go, the closer it becomes and the neater it is. Then I moved on to that one, and I did that one next, and then I did that one. And to prove it wasn't a fluke, well, I couldn't get in there properly, but it's okay. I'm happy with that. It's still a mess. Don't get me wrong, it's still a mess. Right, well, now all the tabs are on, we can now start the next bit. Okay, because I didn't record what I was just saying, we're going to leave these both the same, I think, because we can always upgrade the suspension with some better shocks if we get too much body roll. There's ways around everything. If that's what I've got to do, that's what I've got to do. It's not what I want to do. But if we leave this one whole, and we cut another 2 more out for each end the same width, that should help with the strain that you're going to get when you lift it. Oh well, that will teach me for not measuring the solar panels before I start the frame. That line there, from that point to that point, is one solar panel. From that point to that point is the other solar panel. They overlap. To get the solar panels on, I ain't got any choice. I've got to overtake that beam. If I leave that beam the height it is, I'm going to be even higher on the roof, which I didn't want. Cut it off. Gone. It's close, and it weren't easy. Saw was struggling with that, if I'm honest. A little wonky in places, but we can whack a belt sander over that and tidy it up. So we've now got some spare alley, which we can now use on other bits. So now we can get the solar panels over that unit. You've got to bear in mind the floor goes in, that will raise that up to at least that line there, and then we hinge off here and that can go straight over, and we shouldn't exceed the given height that I've removed. In fact, let's have a look. There you go. There's just a little bit more room there. we've got enough. I think we've got enough. But there is room to take more off. I've just got to figure a way in doing it. So we'll cut both of those down now. What I might do later is lob a bit of wood in there actually, just to fill that channel up on each side, and then smooth off with a belt sander. A bit of old pine will do that. Once that's been all painted up, you see, that'll be fine. Anyway, next we've got to bandsaw some more of this stuff. See the difference though? I mean, two different types of material. So we've got a C channel there and a half C channel. I ain't putting that through the saw again, that's too noisy. We'll have to find another way of doing this. The blade doesn't like it anyway. It struggled. Machine kept cutting out. But we can get over that now. We're at a decent height. I cut two ends out. I've decided to stack them because they'll act as a little bit of a protector. It's also going to be easier. I can't have an overhang on that side because this butts up almost to the end of the habitation box, and overlapping the box is the actual cab windjammer unit, and if I overhang it when I tip the cab, all that's going to get in the way. Now I could have put this one to the side of that, but that also meant that my window at the back is going to get hindered by that, and we don't really want that to happen either. The solar panel is 160.4 wide, so that will probably end up being from about halfway there to about halfway there. So what I intend to do is put some braces in and try and stack this in a manner where it sits on top. We've got those pieces that we cut off earlier, so if we turn them over to the C-section over the side, maybe cut a piece off later, we've got an angle bracket then, and then we can mount to that angle. Okay, the welding is getting better, not by a lot, but speed is the key. Mr. Darnell, the welder up, is very correct. Even with this rubbish setup I got, I had to do swells, and I was filling in each pull on every return circle. I burnt through a couple of places. That one went a little bit better. That one was okay. Burnt through at the end on that one, but we're there. Ain't gonna break, that much we can say. So there we go, there is the first one, guardrail made. As I said, the welding has got a bit better. Swells, fast, speedy swells. Just don't hang about on it. Get the angle right, set the gas up right. Can't go wrong, unless your name is Sean. So that's the plan, and it's going to sit roughly about that angle, one each side. It is getting heavier, but we're not abandoning it. Oh, I ain't done in here. We need to do down in here, and we can do that in an upright position, so we should be able to zap through that pretty quick. It would be nice to have them done as well, and then put some plastic caps on the end of them. So I might just go for regular stainless steel hinges, to be honest. The other thing I've got to do, I didn't want to do it, but I'm going to have to. I ain't got a choice. The linear is going smack bang in the middle. It's going to bolt into that bottom piece, hook up to the top piece and lift that. But I do need some support going through there, because I don't know how big the linear is going to be. I don't want it to go up that high, so I've got to measure and then see if I can find one. Cross braces are in. They are for the panel to screw to. I can get underneath that. I'm going to have to drill through the bottom of that one, or put some angle plate on. I don't know yet how that's going to sit, but I've got to buy the panels first. And I've also slotted it in there, and I have slotted this one in there. I am so happy with this. Second one done, badly but done. Oh, tired, fed up. Why sides? Two reasons. Solar panels. I want to add another two more because my solars are not doing that well. I've got 250 watt solar panels and I'm pumping 24 watts through them. Get your head around that. Those controllers, I don't think they're very good for the job. I'll have to have a hunt for something else, but I think I'll go through people's reviews. So if you know of any reviews, put the link up in the comments, please, of anyone who's done some reviews, regardless of price. Second reason I've done sides, I'm 51 years old, mate. If I fall off this thing, I'm going to flipping hurt. Plus I don't do too well with heights myself, even though you probably do recall me balancing on a ladder, but it was a case of I had to because there's no other way in doing it. If you remember when I was putting the metal sides up on the side of the box on the farm, I was up this ladder 1 foot precariously ready to fall. I had no choice. There was nothing else that could get me high enough. Made good entertainment if anything. So yeah, I don't do well with heights, and I need a rail to hold on to, and we're going to put rope each side of that as well on bungee, so it all flat packs underneath and tidies itself up. Okay, I've been trying to work out the weight by comparing it to other things, but based on my own personal weight and weights of other things that I spoke about that I'm not putting up on here, I would say all in we're about 300 pound in weight. Probably a little less, but we definitely ain't going to be over that. Thought we'd give this brick acid cleaner a go. This was absolutely covered. I mean, this whole panel up to about there was concreted in concrete. What I've done, I put the first lot on, loosened. You can only do it in layers. So I've loosened the first layer off, hit it with a wire brush, stuck some more acid on, hit it with a wire brush again after I've dried it off. I think we're on our 4th acid dip, if you want to call it that, and 3 wire brushes later, so we should get the last of it off. I mean, whatever's left will just have to stay, but we have got about 90% of that off, and you'll see the staining around the concrete that's gone, and you'll see where it's dispersed, but you have to wire brush it back. You ain't going to get it off any other way. I'll have to soak the ground down with water after. We've got several like this. Staining on that one, and that one. I mean, that was pretty much the state it was in when I started, to be honest, except that one go all the way at the end. A little bit there, just little bits here and there, but that will be the worst one to do. Wicked hooks, they're the ones I've done so far. That's paint, I ain't overly bothered by that. Once this is all fitted, we will power wash that down as best as possible anyway. Before I go any further though, I will have to get that out with a chisel. But other than that, no, it's each one has took an hour, a good hour. Okay, well, I've done that one, those 3. Didn't do that one because there's no concrete on it at all. And that one over there, excuse me, there is a load of paint on there. And this one is what I think is plaster. I don't think that's cement. I ran out anyway. A lot of this will be cut, so because I've got to have a big hole in the middle. And then I've got to find a way of making a lid so we can walk on it without falling through the hatch. So tomorrow, I ain't going to do it now, I'm just exhausted. Tomorrow I'm going to slice this all up. I did one earlier on this morning. I think we might, oops, nearly dropped my camera. I think I might get my Evolution saw out and cut it with that, because it'll just be a heck of a lot quicker. The little Black & Decker is alright for the job, but it's a bit slow, and occasionally the blade catches and it jams. Okay, hopefully today, which is Friday, it's the final day of this build in the back garden. Once we've got all these cut to length, I want to take them all off and take this frame up to the top of the vehicle, bolt it down. Just got to get a tube of sealant to put under the brackets, a couple of tubes to squeeze underneath the frames to stop the rattles and some movement. We should be good to go. I got me chop saw out because this will do it a lot quicker. It's got a brand new blade in now. That was going to go in the circular saw, but I no longer need the circular saw for this job because we've changed our material type. All plugged in, 8:30 in the morning. I'm going to give it another half an hour to hit 9 o'clock, and then I'll hit into this and shoot through this as quick as I possibly can. There we go, all cut. Well, no they ain't. I've got to cut them too. Now we're done. Trying to get these cut as quick as I could. Less impact from people complaining about me noise. And realistically, that was loud, but we're done. So now next process, strip them, number them so we know which side's what. That one, the very first one, because I can't attach any kind of fixing to it, it's going to have to be glued, and then I'm going to have to rivet one side and tack weld inside edge, and we should be good to go. There you go, first one is on. It's welded. That wasn't easy to weld. Everything was filthy. No matter how hard I cleaned it, the acid that I used really did heavily affect how that went on. Unfortunately, that's the way it came out, but it's strong enough, just a bit ugly. But I've noticed on a lot of trucks and stuff that have had alley welding, they're not much tidier than what I've done on that bit, so in some areas. We're riveted, we've glued. Listen to the ching noise on that, they're in. So that should not rattle. As you know, they're all cut. We will get this up on the roof, we will drill some holes, weld some washers, and wallop this on. I think I'm going to need a third one. Right, I'm done. This is up so far anyway. So each corner is bolted. Well, the brackets I put in are bolted. I've flipped that one up a little bit. When I say flipped, I mean the swear word. I went and drilled a hole, and there's a bulkhead inside, and I went straight through the centre of the bulkhead and couldn't get to the nut. So yeah, tomorrow we'll let this stuff go off. I put a couple of bits underneath just to take some of the vibration away, and a bit of luck, we'll be good to go. So with a bit of luck we can get the plates on tomorrow, and then we can start thinking about the hatch. Yeah, it's a bit wonky, something has gone wrong. I think it was that one, I had to cut it off, if you remember, make some alterations, and I think it's pretty obvious something still hasn't gone right. But with me, you never get perfect, I'm afraid. I'm a little rough around the edges, and I don't care. Right, till tomorrow. Morning guys, 20 past, no, it's 20 to 10, yeah, 20 to 10. I've been working since about 8:30, 8 o'clock. And the reason for it is this guy has just bought a motorhome. Actually, it's going to be a conversion. It's a very nice one. I'm looking at it now. So I had to get it done as much as possible. Saturday morning, I wanted to upload this thing today. So that's what I've got to work on later on. Out of the kindness of my heart. No, there's a little bit more to it than that. I want to see the guy on the road for definite. He's a neighbour. He lives nearby. And I'm just helping him gut it and nothing more. An old prison van. Four stall prison van. So we've got to get all the partitions out and try and figure out the electrics to get the internal lights on, which is why I'm now talking about this, because I've been doing my deck this morning and I've hit a bit of a problem. Very much hoping to get this laid today, but I can't, because the next panel that goes on goes over the glass. I don't want to cut any holes out on the decking. I need to keep this small. And the reason for it is on the roof of that particular truck, it's escape hatches. Rather useful. He's going to turn one of those into a blank plate for a chimney because he wants a wood burner, which means I can actually get rid of this with a bit of luck, which has been a bane since I fitted it. I've got some alley in the back of the van over in the car park over there, so we'll quite literally take everything out and then put a plate over the top, glued in. I've got to scrape some of this white stuff off because it isn't taking to sealant very well, and go from there really. So there you go. There is my deck so far. I'm pretty pleased with it. Weighs in roughly around 300 pounds with the sides on as well. I don't know what it would be with the solar panels, but we don't have to go for those. We can get some smaller ones, but it just means I can't put them in line with them because they're 48 volts. So really, all that's left to do is to say goodbye, because I do not know how long it will be before he's ready to pull them out. It could be today, could be tomorrow, or it could be 6 weeks time. I generally don't know what he's up to. So yeah, I don't actually know. I don't know. I don't know what half his plans are at the moment, so I just said I'd give him a hand. There's a couple of items in there I'm interested in buying off him. He did say I could have them, but I just couldn't push myself to take any, so for nothing. So we'll see where we end up. So with this video coming to a close, I'm going to say happy holiday to you, happy weekend, all that, and I'm going to clear off because I'm pouring with sweat. I can't do no more up there. We're done. Generally, I can't do no more. Till I establish what's going on with that hatch, I can't do no more. Reference to the solar panel controllers, honest to God, they're junk. I'm not making any of this up. They fully charged that battery up. Ain't disputing that. Not one little bit am I disputing that. The problem was, it's when it was fully charged and I turned the power on to the habitation unit, in other words connected the battery to all the electronics, did it have a hissy fit. Literally shut down on me. When I turned the power off to the electronics, it then suddenly rose from 12 volt to 24 volt, and I thought, oh, that's dangerous, that's going to blow stereos and all sorts of stuff. Don't exactly know what is going on with this at the moment. When I turned, watch that gauge, turn that on, watch what that does. 2.7 volts. There was 12 volts in that battery just now. That has shut off. Turn that off. Watch that. I probably ain't going to do it now, but what it did earlier is that's been steady at around 17, 18 to 20 volts. All of a sudden that jumps up to 24 volt. That 13 that you see, that then jumped up to 24 volt. It was feeding 24 volts into my system. Nothing's working. Stereo won't come on. That's dropping down to 2.7. Nothing. No lights, nothing. What the hell is going on? So and then it dropped the power to the van to 2.5. I'm assuming some safety system knocked in. I don't know what's the matter with them. Useless things. So I am now on the search of some decent controllers, and I did put a couple of questions up on some forums. One of them came back to me with several people, which I'm very, very grateful to, so thank you. I have looked at those products and I'm just debating which ones is the best, because I don't want to spend any more £100 on each. I did email a company trying to push my luck with a review, but I weren't having it. Literally sent me an email back saying thank you very much, interested in your in our products, so you can purchase these at our district. Oh, whatever. I thought that was a very polite no. I felt like sending a very polite thank you. You've just lost a review that could have been valuable. Could it have been valuable? I don't know. Might have been, may not have been. So that was the end of that idea. I could email a few more companies, but it's just torturous when they say no. So no, I'm going to have to bite the bullet, spend some money. So with that, I'm going to clear off. Thanks for your views. Last video, solar panels, solar array, solar... Oh, blah, 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 blah. I can't bloody remember. I'm mumbling now. I'm going. I'll catch you later. Bye.